The evaluation chamber of the Hegemony's Integration Center was designed to intimidate. Towering walls of liquid metal reflected distorted images of those being tested, while the assessors, beings of pure energy contained in geometric shells, floated in judgment above. Maria Rodriguez stood in the center, trying not to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Subject displays no telepathic abilities, the first assessor announced, its voice a harmonious drone. Psychokinetic potential 0. Energy manipulation non-existent. Dimensional sight absent. Physical capabilities, the second assessor continued, substandard. Cannot survive in vacuum. Requires constant oxygen intake. Limited to single visible light spectrum. Healing rate glacial. The third assessor's form pulsed with what Maria had learned was disappointment. Lifespan less than 1 century. Cannot photosynthesize. No natural armor. Consensus. Species value rating negligible. Recommended classification. Servant class. Menial labor allocation. Maria raised her hand. Do I get to say anything? The assessors paused, their forms flickering in what she recognized as confusion. In the 300 species of the hegemony, none had ever questioned their classification. Speak, the first assessor commanded, though its tone suggested this was merely a formality. Maria walked to the testing platform's edge, her worn boots echoing in the chamber. You tested me for 7 hours. In that time, you never once asked me to solve a problem. Problem solving is irrelevant without proper capabilities, the second assessor stated. Is it? Maria smiled. Your door is too narrow. The assessors exchanged rapid light pulses. Clarify. When I entered, I had to turn sideways. Your architect designed for the average of all hegemony species, but averages don't walk through doors, individuals do. A Thraxian would have to squeeze. A Miniath swarm would scatter. It's inefficient. This is observational capacity, the third assessor admitted grudgingly, still within servant class parameters. Maria pulled out a battered notebook, paper, which had caused security quite a confusion. I've been here 3 days. Want to know what else I observed? Without waiting for permission, she continued. Your food synthesizers produce 31% waste because they're calibrated for biological templates that don't account for dietary evolution. Your transport pods cluster during shift changes because your AI doesn't factor in social dynamics. The Velans always stop to gossip, the Kadari refused to share pods with Nex, and nobody told the system. The assessors had stopped pulsing. They hung still, listening. Your universal translators glitch when handling metaphors because they process language as pure information transfer, missing cultural context. Yesterday, a trade negotiation almost collapsed because the translator converted a Pyrian blessing into what the Elorians heard as a death threat. Maria flipped through her notebook. Should I continue? I have 73 more observations. How? The first assessor's voice had lost its drone quality. You possess no enhanced cognitive functions. Because I'm slow, Maria said simply. Humans live maybe 80 years if we're lucky. We can't see through walls, can't compute hyperspace trajectories in our heads, can't regenerate limbs. So we learn to pay attention, to write things down, to think about why things are the way they are. She gestured around the chamber. Every species here evolved to be perfect for their environment. You measure power by those perfections. But humans? We evolved to adapt, to use tools, to see problems where others see normality. The second assessor descended slightly. You claim this compensates for your deficiencies? I claim it makes them irrelevant, Maria countered. The Corvani have 6 eyes but never noticed their own ships leak radiation that attracts void predators. A human shipping clerk figured that out. The telepathic espers couldn't solve their colony's crop failures until a human farmer suggested they were planting by mental tradition instead of soil acidity. She closed her notebook. You labeled me useless because I can't do what you do. But power isn't just about ability, it's about perspective. Every species in the hegemony is specialized. Humans? We're generalists. We see connections you miss because we have to. We solve problems you don't know exist because we're always looking for easier ways to survive. The chamber fell silent. The assessor's forms began a complex dance of light. Rapid communication Maria couldn't follow. Finally, they stilled. Recommendation withdrawn. The first assessor announced. New classification required. Proposing novel category. Pattern disruption specialist. Consultant, Maria suggested. It sounds better. For the first time in hegemony history, energy beings attempted to replicate a human smile. The result was terrifying, but Maria appreciated the effort. As she left the chamber, reclassified and validated, Maria made one last note. Teach aliens about humor. Priority high. Universe too serious. The assessors, reviewing her file, found themselves calculating how many inefficiencies 100,000 human consultants might discover. The number was astronomically valuable.